Okay, good. There was no reason to do that, but thank you. Okay, I think some of us have met. I know Alex. I see in the front. What's up, dude? And Brian and some of the other folks from December. Nice to see you guys again. Hey, I'm not talking to you. You didn't come visit us when you came to Japan. I'm going to go to start the introductions really quick. You might or you might not know people from the KMD side.
Hey guys, I'm Devin. Oh, sorry. I have bronchitis now, so I look like a fool with this mask on. But yeah, that's about it.
Hi, I'm Ali, and this is my first year in KMD, so yeah.
Hi, my name is Ryohei. I grew up in Connecticut. It's my first year in KMD.
Hi, my name is Vira. I'm from Singapore. I'm in a second year, finishing in September this year. Yeah, nice to see you guys.
Hello, my name is Anissa and I'm from Indonesia, second year, and nice to meet you again.
Hello, my name is Jim Park. I'm from South Korea. I'm freshman in KMD. Nice to meet you.
I'm Wayne. I'm from Georgia. And I just finished my first semester at KMD.
I'm Hirokazu. I'm from Gunma Prefecture. There is famous in spa. Thank you.
My name is Ryota Haruguchi. I don't know English at all. Yes, today I learn to study English. Thank you.
Okay, thanks guys. So maybe a quick intro from you guys, like a quick name, and raise your hand. There's a lot of you guys. It's like the Wu-Tang Clan. It just keeps multiplying. So maybe we can start. And the guys in the back, please stand up because we can't see you guys. It's like jury selection.
All right, I'm going to pass the mic over. Just for those that haven't met me, I'm Tracy. I'm a researcher and lecturer here, and Todd as well. Here, I'm going to pass it over.
Hi, I'm Todd. I think I've met pretty much all of you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now on to the more important people.
Hi, my name's Alex. Wu-Tang forever.
Hi, I'm Jerry.
I'm Hi, I'm Brian.
Hi, I'm Torrance.
I'm Monica. Hi, I'm Cindy.
Hello, I'm Willie. What's up?
I'm Josh.
I'm Clarence.
And I'm Nick.
Hello, my name is Masahiko Kitamura from Japan. こっちはもう朝じゃなくて夕方ですね。Good evening, yeah.
まだお土産届いてないけど、いつぐらい来るんですか?
Isn't it Ohio there now? So we're quite confused. We wanted to say Ohio gozaimasu, but we're not sure if that's appropriate, so please explain.
I think a lot of people have been doing all-nighters here, so whatever you guys feel is the right greeting is fine.
So Red Bull would be better?
Yeah. Okay, so Tracy, I guess maybe for the people on our side and maybe your students, it might be better if you just give first talk about the what the OnVector, briefly about what the OnVector conference is, and maybe what opportunity we have to participate on the UCSD KMD side as a collaborative event.
Okay, so OnVector is an international photonics conference. It's actually quite similar to what we did for Cinegrid. We have a demonstration on the 29th of February, and they're hoping to see more of a real collaboration compared to the sort of demonstration that we did for Cinegrid. So we're hoping that over the next sort of 3 weeks, we'll be able to put together a small project that we can show. It would be nice to have a finished project, but if not, the work in progress of our collaboration. So it's typically, we want to kind of feature the wall again, but in a much more real way, so that we've all actually engaged with the wall. Yeah, so that's where we're at.
Any questions or any comments from the KMD side? Just feel free to pick up the mics and anything at all. So Tracy, as far as subject matter and details, we're free to do whatever we want.
Well, it was actually, we wanted to kind of talk to you about that, because in the OnVector program, it sounds like there's going to be a discussion of growing documentary. So we're hoping that you could actually shed some light. And
that is news to me.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm just checking Perez Hilton to make sure he didn't put that first. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So Yannick, let me try to help with the clarification. We're a little confused. I think some of the organizers from OnVector might be a little confused on where Lenses and Landscapes begins and where Growing Documentary ends, and what are the sort of connections between those two things, and how big Growing Documentary is, and if we all came up with a new project for this demonstration event, does it fall under the umbrella of Growing Documentary, or maybe is it something entirely outside of that scope?
So basically, Growing Documentary is make one short documentary to grow to the other story. So, for example, right now we have one short documentary, Lenses and Landscape. I think you guys already saw the film, and it's under the Growing Documentary. So Growing Documentary actually like a big umbrella. So you can actually grow the story from the Lenses and Landscape to make other story about Tohoku, for example, the earthquake, or you can have another story taking from other theme about humanity or something, and we can work together on it. Like, for example, maybe you have another theme that you are going to take from your site, and then you have the pictures, or you have the stories, or anything. So we can try to collaborate how to produce the other movie with those material. So I think that's how the Growing Documentary works.
Okay, so that definitely helps a little bit. So to clarify, Lens and Landscape was one example of a Growing Documentary project, but really it could be anything beyond the 3/11 earthquake, tsunami disaster. It really is mainly about a container for doing documentary, kind of evolutionary documentary styles. Is that a question?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, great, thanks.
Todd wasn't going to talk at all during this. I just want to point that out.
Thank you, Todd. Yeah, so just to clarify what Anissa was saying, it did start in a sense with Lenses and Landscape, which many of you have seen, and I think you can watch there. You can watch on the internet as well. However, it's not the end, and it started with the theme of the rebuilding after the earthquake last year. So on our side, one thing we're considering doing here is, with the 1-year anniversary coming up, one idea, that of course is obvious, is to kind of follow up, or maybe do something, on a year after the earthquake, how the rebuilding's going, the state of affairs, etc., and so forth. But again, it doesn't just have to be about that. It could be about any social issue that concerns you guys. It's basically a platform for non-linear storytelling, where we can also use various images and HD video and even 4K. I think video up to 4K. I'm not very good with the technical details, so I know technically Sage is not 4K, it's Quattro I don't know why I went Spanish. It's quad HD. It's cuatro. So, but I think there's people on that side can explain much better. So basically, it's just an open idea. But if they want to talk about growing documentary, I think that's a theme we can work on. So maybe what we can do today between the team over there and some of our guys over here, especially the master's students, we can talk about what we can do. And what's probably most important is to make a schedule with some deadlines and some waypoints on when we're going to meet and what we're going to have on that side for both sides in order to meet the deadline by the end of February, because it's only probably about, we probably have to have everything ready in about 3 weeks to test for the conference, which is at the end of the month.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry for talking long, but Tracy, please.
Yeah, so yes, I have an agenda with every one of those things you just mentioned on there. So, I mean, I think that if we can establish regular meeting times, I'm not sure how long and how many times a week your group can commit. I'm thinking, given how close to deadline we are already, twice a week would be good. And I know not every one of the students here can meet twice a week, but there's actually other students that we might have a bit of ebb and flow happen this end. So I think I've said before that Tuesdays and Thursdays at this time is the most kind of convenient time for our group, but I'm not quite sure how convenient it is to meet. That makes that what Wednesdays and Friday mornings for you?
I'm sorry, that Wednesday and Friday time is JST or it's PST?
JST for you. So it's Wednesday now for you, right?
Yeah. So I think we should get a consensus on the crew here. Wednesdays and Friday mornings, our times, guys. Any objections? 水曜日と金曜日の朝はどうだい？まあ週だと仕方ないけど。どう？ That's fine. That's Thursday. That's what. It's Thursday. Yeah, that's fine. But because it's our Wednesday.
It's so totally.
Sorry, guys. とりあえず水曜日と金曜日の朝、もちろん就活とかなんかあったらそれはもう個人でいいんですけど、基本は UCSD と毎週水曜日と金曜日このイベントまで。
Yeah. Same time as right now.
Tracy, the same time, right? Our time about 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Correct.
Yeah. Is it? Ollie? Yeah, our side sounds good. Of course, just like Tracy said, right here in Japan, it's job hunting season, although there's no jobs and there's no money, and the GDP is like right next to like Zimbabwe. That's a totally different issue. So that's, I don't know why I got political, but so some of these guys might be looking for a job which they'll get laid off from in 2 years. But other than that, we will have. I'm all about Occupy Wall Street, so you know I'm down. So anyway, other than that, yes, Tracy, the time is fine. So you can put that down. So our team here is good with that as well.
All right, that's great. So I mean, we'll formalize this in an email afterwards, and I've just established a Google site, so I guess we can all sign up to that and kind of progress online as well as like face to face like this. So I guess the next question is, and I want all of these fabulous people to start talking because I'm sick of my voice already, is that we should kind of talk about, like, start to brainstorm some kind of ideas that are manageable within a 3-week, like, kind of period. So, I don't know, do you guys want to, do you have any ideas? Do you want to ask any questions? I'm going to pass the mic over to anyone who would like it. No way? Yes?
You were saying that it was more of like an umbrella documentary idea. I think like on our side it might be difficult to encompass the earthquake there because I'm not sure if people have a full knowledge on it, or have an opinion really on it. I mean, they'll say, oh, that's sad, I bought like a bag with a flag on it. Sorry, that's insensitive. But I think that because it has roots in documentary, there's a lot that we can do. It's just a matter of, do you want it to be taken off campus more and like encompass the San Diego community, or just like America, or a certain theme? I think that'll help guide us a little bit.
Jump in.
As for me, as like in the future, growing documentary will cover all the theme, but related to humanity. So if you want to jump in with a new idea about something that occur in San Diego, for example, I don't know, kids, or I don't know, some economic or anything, you can just try to create one, and we can collaborate how to produce the next documentary. And then for the first documentary, maybe it's only 5 to 10 minutes, so not all the idea can covered by one documentary, so you will make another documentary after that, and it will be growing until you can like find the solution of the problem itself. So probably the first documentary will be focusing on what kind of problem, for example, and then the second documentary, for example, the problem from the student view, for example, or the society, or something like that. So yes, we can have new theme from what's on your mind. So I think it's okay.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Thank you.
Oh, I think also one of the good points about what we did was we took a bunch of contents from the actual place that we weren't allowed to go to ourselves and assembled it to create a documentary. So I think through the SAGE thing we can do something very similar, where we can all share contents from far apart and then kind of use it to create something unique. And I think that's where the value is. So I don't think it has to be related to the earthquake or anything in particular. It's just any theme I think would be good, as long as it has a societal message.
Oh, I had a question. With the previous project, it was a 4K narrative for the lenses and landscape. With this one, are we still looking to do something in 4K, or like are we just going to be able to just shoot HD footage?
Yeah. So, from my perspective, you know, as someone who's kind of helping to organize the on-vector thing, I think it's pretty open. If it turned into something that makes sense to use 4K as a medium, that's great. It doesn't have to. I think that we don't want to, you know, put that as a necessary kind of burden on the project. I think that there's a lot of ways of using, you know, some of the tools we have that could be just HD, it could be 4K, it could be, you know, whatever. It could be any medium. It's really more about using this environment that we're surrounded on, using these networks and using remote collaboration as central kind of core ideas of how to make something new and valuable. You know, if there was sort of experiments of how to produce something for 4K, that'd be great. I mean, I think that we all kind of talk about multimodal projects too. So you could, you know, start a general foundation of an idea, and that could be translated into 4K as well as into, you know, HD or a video game or an augmented reality experience or whatever. There's a lot of ways of expressing it, but I think, you know, at this point, don't be burdened by having to produce something in 4K. Having said that, we do have an interesting opportunity here. So during Cinegrid, you might have seen we had an Astro 4K camera. That was a temporary loan. We now have, I'll show you guys too. We now have this. This is the JVC 4K camera. That's funny. Whoa. And we also will be having this. I don't know if you guys can really see that on the display, on the projection over there. But since Cinegrid, we've added another tier of tile displays. So By the end of this week, we're going to have 4 tall by 8 wide over there. And it won't be touch, but so what? We still have the touch over here. Yeah, you can't reach it. Exactly. Sorry, you guys are getting dizzy. Let me put you back down.
Deadly.
Okay. Thanks for taking the journey. Yeah, so we do have a lot of possibilities. We've got the multiple 4K projectors. We've got that one, the JBC that's behind this wall. We've got the Sony 4K up there. We've got another Sony 4K in the next room. So there's lots of opportunities. But that's really how you should think of it. Is like it's an opportunity to pursue it if you want it. We have Masahiko here, who's an expert with the NTT JPEG 2000 codec, and has generously offered his assistance in working with us to actually produce something with JPEG 2000 with 4K. We're trying to convince him to work on a plugin for Final Cut or Premiere to use the JPEG 2000, but I don't know if that will be ready for this project. But there's other ways of working with the 4K. Did you guys hear that, by the way, over there? The plugin for Premiere. You guys use Premiere over there, right? That's your main.
We use Premiere on Windows machine. Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, we'll see.
Correction. Vera uses the Premiere on the Windows machine, and Anissa does, and I sit next to them and take the credit. Sorry, I had to correct this.
Okay. Thanks for clearing that up. All right.
So,
just to interrupt, Professor Ota is here, everybody, so stop chewing your gum. Thank you.
Hello,
Okay.
Ota Sensei.
Hello. Sorry, I'm very late. So, did you have any good discussion, fruitful?
We're starting the discussion. Yeah. So, okay. Sorry, guys, if you want to, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to introduce everybody to Ota Sensei.
Thank you. So I guess my question is, you've talked about one kind of project, the 1-year memorial project that you think you might like to do. Do you have any other kind of ideas or any other projects that you've kind of got, you've started to work on that we could kind of discuss?
Well, actually, for the Tohoku project, right now we are trying to work with it, but it's not started yet because it will start on March. So we don't have any particular project to do right now. So if you want to create something new, we are keen to work together.
Excellent.
To collaborate.
And I know that Anissa doesn't sleep, so she'll work around the clock. So you guys, do you have any ideas or want to ask some more questions? We need to start working on possible kind of project ideas.
Tracy, what about, do you want to talk more about the themes that you were mentioning?
Not really. No.
Is this going to be shown? Well, it's more just where is this going? Where is it to make the documentary be shown anywhere, or is it going to be shown in this type of environment?
Okay. Did you guys hear William's question?
Sorry, it was hard to hear that.
Okay, so he was asking where this would be shown, the outcome of this would be shown.
From what we understand, and please, Tracy, please correct us if we're wrong, and we apologize because I think we've gotten a lot of information in a short time, and it's jumbly in our head. But so basically, this experiment, or what we're going to do right now with the UCSD and the KMD folks, is for the on-vector photonics conference, and hopefully a continuing after that. It's one iteration of the growing documentary. Of course, and I think the point is to be able to demonstrate to the people at UCSD, as well as whoever might be at KMD, how we can use SAGE and the 4K pipeline for real-time collaboration. Mm-hmm. And we will have a pre-made, in theory, we should have a pre-made some output file that we can show people what it's like. So it's, I think the example we used at Cinegrid was, it's like a TV cooking show, right? You can't make a turkey in 20 minutes, but somehow they do with commercials. So I guess think of it like that. So we will have something as a final output, but at the same time, we want to show people how the collaboration happens as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And if I'm wrong, please correct me.
No, that's true. So yeah, hopefully if we do have a final piece to show, it will like be kind of premiered on Vector, but if chance that it will be get picked up by Syndicate Exchange or kind of pursued elsewhere, and we have connections both here and, you know, these fabulous people will also, you know, have kind of venues to expose this kind of piece to as well. So, okay. So time to talk projects.
Well, I sent you an email with that idea. I don't know how much it... Oh.
We took you the long way around, sorry. We need a wireless.
Okay. All right. I was looking on the KMD website, and I saw like one of the graduate students, they did a animated paper project where it was, I didn't see too much of it, but I really liked the thought of maybe capturing like with cameras, just like the paper, the colorful papers, and maybe trying to do simple animations of maybe telling a short story. Maybe like with the short story, it could be some kind of like Japanese like short story of like some kind of hope or rebuilding or something of that nature, where we could collaborate with some of the artists over on your side, and then maybe use the techniques that he's done and try to like animate some kind of short that sends some kind of message of hope or rebirth or like a rebuilding kind of, you know, don't give up and something like that. So. But I don't think it would be possible to finish it in 3 weeks, but it could be something started and then something that could be shown in development.
Thanks, Ryan. I think it's a good idea. As far as the animated paper, it's from another research lab, more the engineering guys, so like the smart guys. And it's a little different. But I think what you're talking about, your idea seems to be a stop motion.
Yes.
You can correct me if I'm wrong. It's a stop motion kind of short storytelling with the theme of hope or something. That's totally fine, and I think that's very creative. And the good thing is, you can shoot that with a DSLR, which spits out the dimensions of 4K or above, which would be great, because we could then really utilize and take advantage of the high resolution. So that's one stream that's definitely workable. I think what we're doing here today is, just like what Brian did, everybody, throw out some ideas, then maybe come up with some candidates, you know, in the next 30 minutes or so by the time we're done with the session today, and start working from that point. So I think Brian's suggestion is really good. If anybody has something to add on that, on either side, please feel free. Or if you have another idea, let's just throw them out.
Okay, this is really random. I was just thinking, like, because of our location, we're located next to the biggest and busiest land border, international border in the world. And I think because, like, we're collaborating globally and talking a lot about, like, global networks, would you be interested in doing something about humanities within, like, the relationship between the States and Mexico?
Well, I think that's especially interesting, I think, because especially in contrast with Japan, because Japan is an island country,
right,
which is completely opposite. So I think I definitely like the sort of the major difference between what you're saying and the exact opposite that Japan has too. So I think that's very interesting.
Any KMD peeps? Anybody? Even new people? If you have any suggestion, there is no. Remember, there are no stupid ideas, only stupid people. That's what my father told me.
You guys have anyone that want to talk, or can I pitch something here?
Alex, you're getting hit with that mic. You're in the worst position.
So, in thinking about this project, the main thing that I think about, and something that seems to be thrown around a lot, not that it's a bad thing, is like this word collaboration. And I've been thinking kind of what that means, or what people think it means. I think a lot of times collaboration is assumed where you kind of put in a lot of ideas and you pick supposedly the best one and you kind of work from there. But I think it's more so you all throw out ideas and you kind of develop something. You don't just pick one, you kind of integrate everything and you work together and you kind of you all agree that it's the best. You're not choosing someone's idea like, oh, their idea is better. It's all your idea, and it changes with each person's input, and it's all your idea. So it's not one person's and then someone else adds on. It becomes the next person's and everyone else's once they start making some input. So I think that's the most interesting part for me, especially this whole thing is having a collaboration across an ocean. So I think it would be very important for us to do something that relates to that kind of dynamic, that this is a collaboration. This is the most interesting thing about it is we're talking to you, I don't know, thousands of miles away, and we're supposed to make something maybe physical, mostly digital, but across networks without even being able to touch each other. So just some kind of basic thoughts to work off of, I guess.
Hey, this question is more about the form that this might take, and this is under the umbrella of Growing Documentary, and you guys had a really excellent first piece of the lenses and landscapes. For this next project that may grow on that or be a new thing, were you guys thinking, I mean, it is going to be a documentary of some sort about humanity, but I guess how similar were you thinking it might be to the first project, or is the whole, what it could be, completely open also?
Question. I think that really, in a sense, is a cop-out. We don't have any kind of a roadmap that this is what it's supposed to be. I think what Anissa said initially and what we kind of presented at Cinegrid was that it, if possible, it should be an iteration of one version. So Lens and Landscape isn't the end-all and be-all. One idea is there's a lot of there are a lot of assets that weren't used in the movie that we can that I think are already up on the server, or we can upload, and you can do a remix of it. It has a Creative Commons license on it as well, so that's one option. You can add in stuff, you can add in interviews. What the gentleman behind you said, I'm sorry, I forgot his name, but one thing, you know, that's a great, what he said is really good, and one idea that I just thought of while he was saying that is, for example, taking interviews on the Japan side and interviews on the UCSD side, campus, in town, whatever, and mixing those the way we want to with, for example, Alex is stop motion animation. I mean, I would say don't think of it, it's very hard, don't think of it as a linear piece. Did I say Alex? I meant Brian, sorry. But don't think of it as something, you know, has to be starting here, middle part, end, but it could just be mixed around, and it could be for that event. And I think that's fine. And those assets could still be used later for something else. You could package those assets, render them into a movie format if you wanted. So I think just keep those ideas open. But the point about collaboration I thought was very important, that we are, like what we're doing right now, we're able to talk. And we won't see each other physically in presence, but we won't be able to shake hands or anything, but we can still work together and make a good final product, and I think that's the point. So I think that's the theme that maybe we should try to push this conversation to as well. What can we do on both sides? For example, maybe the KMD people here, we can ask, hey, San Diego, can you guys do this? And maybe you guys can say, we would like to see this from your side. That might be a way to make this conversation a little more interesting and maybe make some progress for the brainstorming. Just an idea.
So I know that we've got quite a talented bunch here. So do you want to kind of talk, shall we just quickly whip around and kind of talk about what people are their kind of interests are? I know that there's like animators in the group and some people that kind of really enjoy sound work. So shall we just do that? Is that a good idea? I'm guessing that was a yes.
Yeah.
Just go around and talk about what you kind of want to work on. Yeah, I mean, what you kind of, whether it be kind of photography or video or computer graphics or music or whatever. So,
I'm really interested in just the whole converging all these different mediums like stop motion and film, and I'm like a sound guy, personally, so that would be real cool. And I don't know, I'm really happy and stoked to be a part of this, so I'm kind of like not sure what to say because I'm already like really excited about it. So yeah, I'm just gonna pass the mic.
I'm more interested in like video work, so if there's a chance we can do some like experimental video stuff in there too, that'd be great.
I do video and photography too.
Let's see. I do photography, video. I shoot photography. I use DSLR cameras. I'm interested in animating, stop motion, time lapses, video work, and animation stuff as well. I'm also very handy with Premiere and After Effects.
Hi, I'm pretty experienced with stop motion animation, and I enjoy editing and photography a lot, and in terms of film, I'm most interested in doing a documentary in the future.
I do digital video, photography, I Photoshop a lot of stuff, so I guess more graphic design. Lately I've been interested in personal devices as well as the gentrification of urban spaces.
I guess I do more digital like videos, but I really like visuals more, like in close-ups of objects or like making anamorphous forms. So, but then I can do like normal things too on video. So whatever you guys decide.
Another photo video guy and open to anything. So cool.
My name is Josh. In case you said forgot, it's Josh. I'm interested in film, but I'm kind of unsatisfied with the way film is done, in that I feel like it's been pretty much the same for a long time, so I'm interested in developing it. It kind of, not necessarily 3D, but in that kind of direction, we're making it more realistic, more kind of captivating to the senses. Like the kind of funny idea of like smell-o-vision, but like kind of playing with those ideas actually, like seriously and realistically, and like being able to tap into other senses for a film experience, making it more of a full body experience. So I'm interested in those things. And I was just, as we're doing this, I'm just kind of realizing that we're passing this mic around, and even though we can see everyone, we can't hear everyone right away. If someone has an idea, we kind of have to pass the mic, so there's just kind of this what's it called? Inhibition, or whatever that word is. That's, even though we have all this amazing technology and we're communicating across the ocean, like we still like, if someone has an idea way back there, you have to like, we have to wait. Like, I think it's kind of this. It's funny, just a thought, especially when Alex is talking about sound.
Hey, so I'm pretty much interested in everything too. Like I like digital media. I like the visual aesthetic. I guess I'm into like the concepts and like thoughts behind it, more of, yeah. So.
And you're also a dancer as well, right?
Yeah, and I dance too.
I'm interested in like a lot of post-production stuff, like compositing, 3D animation, and visual effects, and I have quite a bit of experience with some of it. Also sound design, so I guess I kind of like a little of everything.
I think that's everyone our end. It's up to you guys.
Okay, yeah, maybe we can start with in the back, and just what your interests are and what you'd like to do.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm a cameraman too. I do a lot of work with digital SLRs and, you know, taking, if I do a stop motion, then the post-production also, and the editing that goes with it, and then exporting and those types of things.
I think my interests are more about the workflow and production workflow more than the production itself. Just how to manage things, how to make things
non-linear, and how to get out of just the editing environment, just making it instead of being on a program, for example, it could be on something more interactive and involves more people at the same time. So this is where I'm interested.
I was in the photography club, so I'm definitely interested in photography. But like Josh was saying, I'm really interested in how collaboration works, what we can do with the technology we have right now. So yeah, I'm interested in more of the base in the system.
I guess my research has kind of revolved around media convergence, especially with traditional and non-traditional means. And a theme I kind of like to, I personally like to use is low barriers of entry. So, for example, being able to make a 4K level film for a very low price using maybe not the best DSLR and just a computer and a Premiere suite, things like that. So I guess access for everybody, and also the distribution. Although we can show it on 4K, when you down convert it, somebody who doesn't have access to 4K can get it too. Because I think one of the most important things is not just that a select group of a few people get to see it and talk about how great it is, and then there's like 300 people in the world who know about it, but that everybody has access to it, and that people could get an interest out of it. And more than anything, the technology, I think like Josh was saying, is really great and all, but if you don't really make anything that's moving or that has a message with it, then you know, it's like having a great stereo system and just playing Journey over and over and over. Like, so.
I enjoy the full spectrum of the visual medium, from very low end, just taking a camera to tell a story, to a high end 4K production. But more than that, I'm interested in the storytelling. I think collaboration, and I don't know really how to define collaboration. I think Josh, you had a good idea of what collaboration means. Maybe that's something that we should explore. It's not about one idea, but it's more like taking a few ideas and developing it. So I love that a lot. I want to challenge storytelling. I want to, and not always to an extent where what this kind of storytelling works. I just want to experiment and see where we go. It doesn't matter whether people like it, don't like it, but it's the process that I'm really interested in. So I enjoy the visual medium a lot, and I dwell from photography to camera work to post-production, high-end post-production work, and yeah, thanks.
I do graphic design and production and post-production, but right now, as growing documentary is my baby, I wanted to make like socio-technology things. So how to make the technology can work for the society. So that's why I'm really concerned about how humanity can be solved, like humanity problem can be solved with the technology or via message or via documentary. So yeah, that's what I do.
I'm pretty interested in film or making documentary or shooting, whatever. I'm just happy to participate in this project. That's all.
I do a little bit of film, a little bit of editing, a little bit of music and sound engineering stuff, but not that great at it. My interest is more in kind of localizing media and developing sustainable media on a local scale using technology and the internet to distribute and produce quality digital, media that rivals mass media.
I think it is important not to specialization, but collaboration or remote network work. That's all.
Yeah, so I think, first of all, thanks to everybody. I think overall, from just a quick non-scientific consensus, is that we do see, I think there's a lot of, the themes that come up are photography, a lot of people want to do video, and I think the advantage of Sage is that, and Todd and Tracy can explain this much better after this session too, of how the Sage system works, and the fact that it is scalable, it's adaptable, that you can use DSLR, you can even, I guess, use some smartphone cameras. They're pretty good right now. You can take HD video. I'm not sure if you can load 4K video straight, but the point is that I think we have a lot of options and we can use a lot of media, but I think we still have to decide what's the theme we're going after, and that's the important point. And I think we're skirting around that on both sides, because we know everybody here wants to do that, and I think we have to pick our theme, even if it's a broad one, and how we're going to get to it, and then start deciding the roles each side and each team is going to take. What do you need from, I think, and again, it goes back to what I said previously a few minutes ago, what do you need from us and what do we want from you? So definitely, I know the skill level is good here on both sides. And there are some people, for example, like Ali on our side, who is very interested in the metadata and the workflow. And maybe you have somebody on your side like that too. So that's also good it's a good way to divide up the responsibilities and the work, because the worst thing is to have 20 directors and nobody to produce.
Okay, I think it's really valid. And yes, it's really nice to have someone interested in workflow. It's excellent. Good job. So let's get down to talking about potential themes or concepts, even if they're broad for tonight, and then we can all go away and kind of think about it a bit further and come back to the table our next session to refine it further. So it seems we could put something under the banner of growing documentary, as long as it has some kind of humanitarian theme. And when you use the term documentary, as I understand it, it's not traditional documentary. It's kind of experimenting with this kind of storytelling. This form of storytelling. So I think we should just be brave and put out potential themes, potential concepts that could fall under this banner. So living in San Diego, I'm just going to be embarrassed first and say that homelessness is a huge issue here and something that could be addressed. Anyone want to respond to that?
I was thinking.
Oh, you got to turn it on.
Hello? Hi. I was just thinking that for an idea that might work a little bit better along with Japan and here, since we don't have the earthquake here. I was thinking of something that will go along with us, since you guys are in Japan, we're here, but we seem to be from all over the place. And I was interested in looking into the next generation workforce. One of you guys, the guy with the red laptop there, was talking about how GDP is crap, and a lot of you guys are applying for jobs within this year or the next year. And it's the same goes for us too. And I was interested in seeing what kind of problems come up when students from all over the world are trying to find jobs for the future, and how we'll run the world in the future. And I was thinking of looking at this in a kind of international way. We can find students that are of Japanese descent and living in Japan and what they have to go through to find a job. Students who've come to Japan to study, and international students who are in Japan trying to study and trying to find a job. Students who are in the US too, citizens and international students here too. And some things that come up is for Japan, they just had their recent earthquake. Their GDP is in trouble. And there's also, I've heard from other Japanese students that there's been a shift in I think requirements for a job, shift towards understanding Chinese language is one of them. On the US side is we seem to be hiring less international students, where with the job market trying to grow again, we've kind of focused on just hiring local people. And what does that do to international students? And also other things like increased tuition costs. I know in the US, I'm not sure about Japan. So I was kind of interested in that, looking at multiple stories of kind of very unique, interesting individuals who've had to go through this and what their fears and worries or hopes are for the future, and trying to kind of put it together that way and kind of see what's going on the Pacific coast.
I think that's very interesting. in terms of job hunting in Japan, I think we can make like a 3-hour documentary. But that's just for one. Yeah, I really like the idea. I think it covers globally. It covers the good point about collaboration, about how we can talk about 2 topics, or well, no, 1 topic from 2 different sides. And especially, this is just about job hunting in Japan. The Japanese people do not know how job hunting system works outside Japan. And I think that goes for, well, not maybe in the States, but people in countries don't know what one topic is going in different countries. So yeah, I really like that idea.
Oh, thank you, that's very interesting.
Any other kind of comments, extensions?
Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about that idea, but I'm really getting on to, really liking that idea, especially because I think the students here and the people here, we can't know what it was like for you guys there. It's impossible, literally, because we didn't experience it. So I think, but I think one thing about tragedy is in struggles is it does bring people together, and so I think if we address a struggle that we are all experiencing, this the young workforce, like what we have to do in the future, what is our world like how is job hunting over there, because I have no clue, and I'm guessing that it's very similar. You guys are having the same kind of struggles we are, that globalization is having a big impact on our world, and it's really hard to keep up. So I think if we address kind of that struggle, and I really like the interview idea, kind of interviewing students or people from both sides and seeing if there are comparisons that can be made, if we are kind of dealing with the same things. I think that's really interesting.
Does anyone else have anything else?
I think this theme, this topic, we can make this grow like a lot, because like it can also relate it to the economical things and stuff like that. And I think it's so interesting.
Does anyone have alternate ideas as well, just so we can throw them all out there? Okay, Monica now.
I think this idea is pretty strong as well, but I also think it's a good way of incorporating all our skills. Like Dewey was saying, that mixing kind of like experimental film within it as well, and it's something that's broad enough that we can each add something to it. And like as I was saying with the international border before, not that I'm like stuck on it or anything, but there's a lot of like Mexicans that come here every day just to work for the day and leave, and kind of like incorporating that within it.
Similar here, a lot of people come from a place called Saitama. It's like our Mexico, and they go back. Yeah, very, very exotic place. You can talk to Kitamura-san about that. Very exotic place. Yeah.
We will.
He's actually from Saitama. That's why.
I like the ideas and everything that's being thrown around. I do think it, personally, I just think it would be important to talk about the tsunami and earthquake and everything, especially because 3/11 is coming up real soon. And I do think that talking about job hunting does coincide with that. But I also think someone was saying that it could be a series of different documentaries that all tie in together. Maybe that could be like the underlying theme, and just like rebuilding from that, and it could just go in different ways, because I do like that, but I also do think that there are other topics that could be touched on that could tie in with it as well. Just an opinion.
Alex, thanks. I think it's really good about linking this stuff up too, because I I think we're going on two streams, but I think that's the advantage of the growing documentary, that we can do the thing about the job side, and maybe when we brainstorm, one thing we could come up with saying that, you know, looking for a job in this day and age, for example, we don't know, for example, you can ask the Japanese kids, how has your job hunt changed, you know, in light of the recent events? You know, in both countries, there's no, for example, social security safety net. You see what happened in light of, you know, in light of the financial crisis, that it's, you know, there's no guarantee that the company is going to save you. And then I think our job as kind of the media curators is, how do we take all that random footage, all that source data, and how do we mix it without manipulating it, but to get our message across? So I think good stuff is coming up here. So let's brainstorm a little more. But thank you for putting it together like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Are there any other comments from KMD? Do you want to kind of extend this kind of discussion or bring up, you know, an alternate topic at this point?
I really like the whole, you know, sort of pursuing, especially the whole tsunami incident, disaster, because I mean, again, that year anniversary is coming up. But at the same time, I really like, I feel like in America, though, I mean, it was sort of you know, the entire world was affected by that, but at the same time, America is, like you said, is kind of disassociated from that. And plus, I think that eventually, you know, I would like to see us look in a maybe a different direction. Not to discourage that. I mean, I'm totally game for talking and pursuing a project along the lines that are related to the disaster. But at the same time, I think that eventually that sort of topic, I mean, it's always going to exist, but it's going to kind of dry up for ideas, and I would like to maybe think of something new or fresh, something. That's why I really like the idea of talking about the border, because I think that's something that we both relate to on just in a completely opposite way. So anyways, that makes sense.
With the job search idea, with the events that happened over there, with the tsunami and the earthquake, there's a lot of destruction. I know as students, we're getting degrees, and they're more advanced for work. It's like I don't know what the term is. Yeah, well, like on that side with the recent disaster, there needs to be all this like construction to rebuild, and I am kind of curious as well, like what the labor force for construction and all the work that may have there are more job opportunities for that type of labor, because I know here in the States, one of the biggest things that were a huge downfall with our market was we were building too many houses and building too many new urban suburban environments with like just those little cookie cutter homes and streets and all that, where nobody's living in them now because nobody can afford them, and they're in places that don't really have an opportunity for a job market to grow. It's just there, and they built it, and the construction force, the roofers, the contractors, and all that, they all have these jobs to build these homes that nobody's going to end up moving into. Whereas on you guys' side, with this the destruction that happened from the tsunami and the earthquake, I'm just kind of wondering on that level of work, if the job market has increased for them, like if they've received more work because of that.
I guess to go back to Tracy's comment about homelessness, a lot of the homeless population in San Diego is ex-veterans, and I'm wondering if there's like a common theme of homelessness from San Diego and then going back to the tsunami in Japan, like I assume that homes were destroyed and like some people are displaced now, and like the idea of displacement could be a good theme to explore as well, based off of like the idea of the tsunami and like what happened after, like the construction destruction that Brian just talked about and displacement of people from their homes. And then because of the tsunami there's probably an effect on the economy, and that could also tie back to Torrance's idea. So just a thought, like the tsunami and like the idea of like themes that you can pick from an event like that and then try to connect it between our side and your side as well.
Oh yeah, maybe like capturing.
I think Vera's going to say.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, with that also, like maybe with like capturing on you guys' side, like this whole events that are happening where people are still being displaced from the destruction, the people that are going back there to work to rebuild, and the process that's going on over there. Maybe on this side, we can overlook the footage that you guys capture and then help piece that together that way, in a way that would be understanding to U.S. citizens here in the States, by this preliminary process of you guys capturing the footage of this whole thing that's being rebuilt and reconstructed in this displacement, and us looking over the footage and like editing it together and piecing it together, and then in that sense collaborating with showing you our cuts and the footage we selected that you guys shot, and then you guys going back, well, we kind of like that, we don't understand that, and then we can share that information on, you know.
I think the idea of displacement cuts across different countries and different people in different ways. I mean, even coming from Singapore, I feel a sense of displacement for the last couple of years because of our open policy to allow professionals to come and work, and how things develop so fast that it's one day your old elementary school is there, next day there's a high-rise building there. So the kind of loss, more than just property, more than just a place, it's like the whole sense of losing one's identity in a certain way. I think that kind of resonates with a lot of people, and even I'm sure you guys there have stories to tell about displacement, whether it's directly related to you or people around you. So that could be something that, yeah, seems worth exploring.
I think it's also a broad enough theme that you can actually continue to pursue some of the other ideas that were discussed, but there's this general kind of coming together of like using this kind of broad theme of displacement as an umbrella.
Just, sorry, really quick, one other thing, it just confirmed, and I think another issue we're going to deal with the collaboration, it's a reality that we don't like to think about, but is budget. So one thing very important to remember, guys, with this, what's really cool, we don't, I know a lot of, and especially if you're videographers or photographers or artists, you want to get the data and the images and the videos yourself, or the sounds as well. We can also outsource them. We did that for Lens and Landscape, and this time we're going to have to do that too. One thing I'm hearing is that we might want to hear, for example, from, one thing we could do is hear from the young people in, for example, the border, that Mexico-US border, as well as the young people in the Tohoku region, how they're dealing with life, you know, and the rebuilding and getting a job and just daily life. And we might not have the funds to go there, but we can definitely outsource and ask somebody to help us with that. So keep that in mind too, as this goes on, that you're only one person, but by using social networking services and, you know, and just your personal networks, we can definitely get a lot more assets, and we can exponentially make the final product better.
So do you guys want to talk a little bit about how you sourced the photographers and how you got your footage for the Lenses and Landscape?
Sure, thanks, Tracy. Well, what we basically did was we had a very, and I apologize to the people who've already heard this, it was an extremely limited budget. So one thing we did, we didn't have a 4K camera. So that was the first challenge. So we knew that we would have to somehow, you know, manipulate the footage to get as close to 4K as possible. So what I decided was, one thing to do was, if we could combine 4 HD images, we'd get as close to 4K as possible. So we shot everything in just we shot it in full HD, and we asked we asked a bunch of photographers from different backgrounds, professional and amateur, who went to different parts of Northeast Japan after and during the earthquake for their footage. And we asked them, you know, basically, please have raw footage that meets the specs of a 4K screen. For example, even the translation, we basically just asked some people on Facebook, and I went through a translators message board in Japan, and just asked a friend of mine to post something up. He's a translator, and we got all the translators done by professionals. One guy does for the BBC, all for free, because it was for a non-profit thing. So it is very possible, and it was all done within 5 or 6 weeks. The sound, Anissa, we didn't have anybody do the sound. Anissa asked her friend who was in high school, who I guess didn't want to study for a test, and instead we just gave her the video, and she composed that sound for our video in one night. So it is very possible, and don't think like, oh, I wish I had, you know, if I had more money, I could. I think in this day and age, we can definitely source from the outside. So think crowdsourcing, you know, human sourcing, whatever it is, giving the people the credit, you know. Don't steal any of the footage. I think there's a lot of good footage that you can ask, and even better, if you can collaborate with somebody on your own, this is another way for the growing documentary to grow, if you think of it that way, right? And we're just expanding the community. So I think that's a good way, and that's how we did Lenses in Landscape, and yeah, we did it for really cheap. I think we only actually went to, what was it? Iwate. We went to Iwate. I went one night to Iwate, and we filmed all over the areas that were devastated. And we went one afternoon to Miyagi Prefecture, where Kensuke is, in that part of the video. That was one afternoon. Everything besides that was all taken from other people and put together. And we went to Max's studio where he was shooting a model. That day, Vera wanted to help.
Very good. Thank you so much. I mean, I think that's very kind of informative, and think that's something to keep in mind. So our time, we have like maybe 15 minutes left. So I don't know if you want to. We should maybe at least kind of settle on a theme and some possible directions that we need to take, and also talk about our next meeting time. So I don't know. Does anyone have any comments this end?
Oh yeah, we were just agreeing that we could kind of like take all the ideas and smush them together, like you were saying before. I think we just need one like word or sentence so that we can fit it all into and kind of steer it in a certain direction and help.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you have a lot of people with these collaborative events, it's I know there's not about who's in charge or who's the lead or anything. You know, it's not about a hierarchical thing, but just for sake of not having headaches, and for organization, maybe if you can just pick a representative on your side. And I know everybody's super busy with stuff, and then we can pick a representative here. But of course, everybody will communicate. That may be one way to go through it. Also, Wayne has made a Google group. I've emailed that link to Tracy. She'll email it to you guys. Please join that Google group as well. That's going to keep everybody who's currently in this conversation and other people who aren't in today on this stream, so we can continue the conversation openly, you know, so we know. But yeah, I would say the only thing I can suggest dealing with a situation like this, we have so many people, it may, not to say that you don't have a right to talk, but it may be good to pick one or two representatives who want to just take a little bit more of the responsibility and kind of do the organization stuff, besides for example, like Tracy and myself. So on the student level as well.
Yeah, I think Josh is going to actually step up and take on the student kind of coordinator role at our end.
Any of all these great people? Josh, you want to handle the KMD people too? They're really shy. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know how much. Never mind. I lost my thought. See, I can't do it. I can't even say a sentence. So no, I won't be able to.
No worries. I put
structure you guys over there.
Anybody, KMD side? Anybody want to? Again, it's not like taking the lead. Just for organization's sake. Anybody want to step up? You can?
I mean, Wayne created the group, so you might want to.
You and Wayne want to just like spar it out? You want to fight it out or hug it out? I don't know what you guys want to do.
We're getting kind of tired over here. We wouldn't mind seeing that.
Wayne and Devin will be handling it on the KMD side. Again, I think Tracy should be forwarding that by the end of today or very soon, the Google group. So please join that. That's the main thing. And Wayne and Devin are going to handle it on the KMD side as far as the student level goes. So thanks, guys. So we have Josh, Wayne, and Devin. Thank you for stepping up. Suckers!
Jolly, Todd has a question. He just wanted to know how much Shirai-san would be involved in this project, if at all.
Same question, and we will be asking Shirai-san about this as well.
Okay, very good.
I think Kitamura-san might be better to ask in some sense. No, we'll ask him. He's, as you know, he does work full time, but I think definitely when it comes.
No excuses.
No, I know when it comes to anything to do with the network and the setup, I think if we ask him, it gets done right away. And he also has some guys under him, Haraguchi here, and some of the other guys who aren't here that can help out as well. So for anything network related, I think they're there for us anytime.
Okay, that's fabulous. Thank you. And so
Yes.
our next meeting then, shall we do this the same time on your Friday, our Thursday? Like in
So
2
guys,
days?
in the beginning we decided, if you remember, Japan time, Friday morning. So it starts this Friday. Is everybody okay with that in this group? I mean, I know not everybody will join. That's okay, right? Okay, yeah. The KMD side, once we figure out what room we're in, or if we have the, Kitamura-san, we will communicate with you if we have the J2K system ready.
Yes, I think that it's almost ready today. So,
okay.
But I think the chaos side issue.
Okay, we will.
Okay,
we will check on.
Yeah, okay. I'll talk to you later. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so the time is fine, and we'll let you guys know how we're going to patch in. I think we should try to patch in on the J2K, and if possible, once we get the Opti portal, that would be the ideal way to do it.
That would be great.
Once we get it up and running.
Do you have an ETA on when the Opti portal will be up and running your end?
I do not, but I know a great man who does. Do we have the ETA? Next Monday is the ETA of the arrival. Okay, they'll bring it on Friday, so hopefully by next Monday it'll be up. So for the meeting Friday, I guess Polycom again? Guys, yeah. So it'll be a Polycom meeting again, so no need to go crazy.
Okay. We were, okay, no more bells and whistles.
We may not have this system on Friday.
Okay, so there might be a chance that...
2000 better.
There might be a chance that we won't have this system on Friday. So if we could get your JPEG 2000, that would be great. And if not, I guess we can try Skype. We can vary our range of technologies.
Understood, Tracy. So what we'll do is, can you follow up on that, just to, or with Haraguchi? Yeah. Okay. We'll have some of the guys understood. We'll have some of the guys, if we can even get the J2K system without the Sage Opti portal for Friday. We'll try to do that, and we'll keep you in the loop on that.
Great, thank you.
Shall we keep those mails into the? Shall we keep everything related to this from this point to the UCSD KMD group? Is that fine?
The Google group, is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, the new one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll send that to. I'll invite everyone tonight this end and include Todd and Kitamura-san and whoever else needs to be like included in this. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
So sorry, go.
We'll get the information. We'll get the information to you if we can get that up and running Friday as soon as possible.
That's great. And so, shall we walk away this evening with a general theme of displacement? Gee, so very depressing. But is that what we were going to run with?
Displacement is a good topic because it can act as an umbrella to the things we have discussed today. So if we do decide later that we want to kind of more focus on a more specific point, that's good for later. But I think as of now, displacement is good to think of now, and then we can come back on Friday with more specific ideas of the exact direction we want to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it also facilitates sound and also sort of more abstract and experimental works as well. So I think it's a really good broad theme to start with. So, okay, is there anything else? Do you guys have anything else you want to say? We're all sleepy here. It's getting late. I haven't had dinner. I don't know if anyone else has either. So, all right. If there's nothing else at your end, we'd just like to say thank you. And yes, we've done it. We've met.
Hey, Tracy, I'll follow up with you. I have to talk to you and Todd about C-graph. So.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. We've been working on that. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send you an email about that after. So I've been a little delinquent on that as well.
That's okay.
Actually, I have a question.
Okay.
Todd has a question.
Afterwards.
Oh, afterwards. Okay. Okay. So
Todd, sorry for the trouble again.
Tracy, you're about to run over your phone.
Yeah, it's time to say goodbye and get some food, I think. All right, thank you very much, guys. We'll see you on Friday.
Bye. Bye.
I have a question for Anissa, maybe, before she runs off. Yeah. Hey, I have, Anissa, wait, you're not turning the system off, are you? I wanted to ask you something before you guys leave. Just a sort of private question with you guys, that not everyone has to listen, but what? Okay. And Kitamura-san wants to talk with Janik also.
Okay.
I'm doing diagrams for the Synagrid demonstrations, and I wanted some sort of clarification on your end. Since I wasn't there, I don't know exactly what you guys had, but we need to provide NTT with that information. And so I was wondering, do you remember what you actually saw us on your end? Did you see, was it 4K, and do you remember if it was a projection or display or?
Oh, wait, I think Oki could have the answer.
Oh, we had the Astro.
Yeah, we had a 4K monitor.
You had a 4K monitor. Okay, great. And you were sending us 4K as well?
Yeah, we were.
You had an Astro camera?
We had a JVC.
Ah, you had the JVC camera.
Yes.
Okay, and the Astro 4K display?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, great. And as far as audio goes, do you remember if it was spatialized audio, 5.1, or stereo?
We had two microphones.
two microphones, yeah. I remember, well, we were playing audio back and forth. I don't know if you were...
No spatial.
No spatial. Okay.
No spatial.
I think that's good.
We had no means to use the spatial.
What was that?
Sorry, just to clarify, although you guys could have sent us spatial audio, we were not utilizing it. We were just listening on mono or at the best stereo.
Yeah. Okay. All right, no worries. That's fine. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Okay, bye.
And so, sorry for Japan. In Japan, and
you want to speak in Japanese?
こ こんにちは。
はい。
まだ英語がそんなにうまく使えないので。
元気ですか、北村さん。
はい、元気です。
なんかちょっと太ったね。
やっぱりこっちに来ると、いや、
元気です。
太りますね、はい。で、そっちの白井さんがいない時って誰がテクニカルなサポートをしてくれるんですかね。
でもさん、いい質問聞きますよね。僕もそれ知りたいんですよ。いい質問ですよ。
で、白井さんに一応聞いたんですけど、なんだっけ、誰かがいるとか。
原口君、白井さん以外は誰がその技術、ちょっと聞かないから。
僕、大木君あたりに質問してくれたら。
そうですか。わかりました。今日なんか多分そっちの今一応双方向で映像は多分送ってるんですけど、なんかこっちの映像ってそっちで見れてました？ JPEG2000 コーデックの全く見えてない。
そもそも機材が全て置かれている部屋が、
はい、ここじゃない、
別の部屋にありまして、
そうなんだ。
今日このミーティングを行う際にこの今いるこの部屋を先に押さえてて、
はい、
でもう完全にこの部屋でやるっていう前提があった中で、その JPEG2000 を使うかっていう話が持ち上がった時に、